Hello, my friends. Welcome to, is it 57? This Together run. I'm excited you are here. I'm actually going to get us going straight away, and then we'll touch some element of nature when we start. So ready? 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So I want you to begin by finding some element of nature you can touch on your way past, or if you can't find anything, it's going to take me a few seconds to get to something. If you can't find anything, just feel your feet gently. Oh, there's a bunny. Excuse me, I'm just going to touch this leaf. He's run away. There you go, I've touched my element of nature. I hope you have too. But if not, yeah, just feel your feet on the ground. Feel the rhythm of your footsteps. Just striking the ground. And know that even if you can't feel the cement because you can't feel the ground because you are running on cement, it doesn't matter. Mother Earth is underneath whatever we are running on. We're still on our planet. We're still on our home. So I think it's important to mention that, because we often forget, don't we? We go about our days, we might touch some grass, step on some grass maybe, but sometimes we live in a place where there's a lot of cement and we don't think about the fact that there's living, breathing land underneath where our feet are, even if they are on something man-made. Now, welcome to this Together run. It's kind of rushed at the start because I started out on my run and then it dawned on me. I started out on my run and it felt amazing. 67 here this morning, so it feels nice. And then I thought, wait a minute, why aren't you doing your Together run today? You don't want to be doing it in the stickiness of the rest of the time, so I had to run back and grab my mic. And so I'd already actually done a few minutes of a run first, and I'm rushing to get back because I have to be back in an hour. So here we are. I'm excited you are here. You obviously heard about what happened last week, or maybe you didn't. I am going to keep checking it paranoid now. I somehow stopped the recording of the Together run 40 seconds in, and so I had this really, I don't know, not emotional, but I just talked to you about what I was going through on that day, and then it will never see the light of day as it didn't record. But I have to believe there was some reason that happened, and strangely enough, I still felt the community, even though you didn't get to hear it. Like, I still felt you with me. Those of you who do this often and say about doing them, I really appreciate that, and that helps with moments like this, where even though I knew, well, at the time I didn't know, but at the time I felt you, and even afterwards, it helped me to get through that, like, why did I bother taking it and carrying it if it wasn't going to record? So I know I often say about the importance of sharing these, but it really does help me, and that helped me through that moment to not be just totally pissed off for the rest of the day. So thank you. Okay, should we go ahead and start some of our exercises? The first thing we're going to be doing is we are going to do a body scan, which is where we're going to start at the top of our heads. We're going to work our way down through our bodies. I will call parts of your body out, or my body out, and you can check in with yours. See what you experience or are feeling in each of those areas. Making sure they're nice and loose and relaxed. and just checking in. Okay, so starting from the top of your head, working your way down, getting into your eyes, making sure they're not squinting, nice and relaxed, nice and loose, going round the back of your head, checking in with your inion, coming back around to your nose and your mouth, making sure that jaw is nice and loose. I'm going to tell you something about jaw in a minute. Going into the shoulders, the front of the shoulders, down into the arms, the upper arm, the elbow, the lower arm, the forearm, wrist, and hand and fingers. Making sure everything's nice and loose. Feels like it's tight, just give it a shake out. Coming back to the main cut of your chest, your upper back, your lower back, around the front to your stomach. As Tommy reminded us a few months ago, check in with your breathing, nice and relaxed. You want to try and be diaphragmatically breathing as much as you can down to your stomach, going into your hips and pelvis, just checking in with all those areas, and into the quads, into the hamstrings, going around the back of the knee, back to the front of the knee, and down into the calf and shin, into your inner ankle and outer ankle, down into the heel, the arch, the top of your foot, and finally your toes. How's everything feeling? Just give you a moment to just reflect back on how your body is. Okay, thank you for checking in with your body. Next, we're going to go and do a mental check-in. So if I ask you, how are you, really, what would you say? I was talking about this on a podcast I was invited to be on the other day, which I will share when it's out on the newsletter. We went into a lot of different topics I haven't covered before on the Feel Good running podcast, and he was asking me, I was saying about these together runs and how we were talking about the moments of silence, the times I give you to just think and just kind of be in your body and what comes up and how powerful they are. And so if this is your first time listening and you're thinking, what are you going to do? I'm going to give you a few minutes here and say, how are you really? I want you to think about how you'd answer that. Maybe it wouldn't be me you would share it with. Maybe it's just admitting it to yourself. What would you say? How are you really? If your mind has wandered, it's okay, gently bring it back. How are you? A little bit more. Dig a little bit deeper. A few more seconds. Okay, thank you for sharing with me, or at least sharing with yourself. It's a really important thing to be able to do, and is something that we aren't great at in terms of just letting ourselves have some quiet to think about how we're actually doing, to feel in our bodies. It's funny, I tell my daughter, Bailey, she's old enough, all the time, like, I ask her, what are you feeling in your body right now, like when she's angry or when she's happy, and I'm trying to instill that in her. But if I'm honest, I'm not sure I'm great at doing it myself. So, all right, how am I really? Well, I had a better night's sleep last night. Steve and I have been watching these really weird shows. Like, have any of you have watched White Lotus on HBO? Really weird. Very addicting. Anyway, that was giving me weird dreams. And then we were watching The Flight Attendant with the woman, what's her name, Kaylee Cuoco or something. Anyway, the woman from Big Bang Theory. And that's kind of a mystery killer drama thing. So it's giving me all these weird dreams. So last night I finally had a good dream, a good night's sleep that wasn't with weird dreams or scary dreams. So I feel good. I feel glad it's a little cooler today. I feel concerned. I don't know if you would have heard, those of you outside the US, probably not. St. Louis on, is it Monday or Tuesday, had like flash flooding to a level that killed 2 people. We got 10 inches, 12 in some areas, within 12 hours. That's 25% of our annual rainfall within 12 hours. And almost 7 of that fell in 6 hours, which is the amount it normally is in July and August combined. But that wasn't the end of it, because yesterday we had more. I don't know how much fell yesterday, but it was insane. And it fell, I was actually on a call with the Running for Real team, some members, when these thunderstorms were happening, and they were so loud, like it was scaring me and kind of distracting us all. And then I had to go pick up my daughter, and the streets were like a flood, and it was crazy that we probably got, I mean, I don't know, but like how much, I should have looked it up, but that was a good reminder to me, definitely, but as you know, I always think about these things anyway. But to hopefully people here in St. Louis who think we're safe here, or that nothing happens here, like climate change is here. It's affecting all of us. It will continue to affect all of us and do more damage. I can't imagine how many homes had flooded yesterday. Thankfully our basement was okay, but I mean, it is, it's here. So that's a little bit concerning in terms of like real reminders when they're at you kind of see things differently, and maybe that's what we need as society. But it was kind of scary actually going to pick up Chloe. I pushed it off for a while. Took Steve and Bailey about an hour to get back from his work, and that's only normally 25 to 30 minutes. But it was quite scary. So that's on my mind. And what else? Having some really good conversations with the team about events. I'll go on to talk about that in the updates, but I'm excited about what we're thinking here, and I think it's going to suit you, the community, so well, all of us, because it's what we're craving, it's what we're missing. No, it's not saying everybody go to New York City Marathon. It's not that at all. But I'm excited about that. So I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. Ooh, definitely feeling a bit tired today. I did a workout yesterday, a little mini one, but it's the first thing I've done like that in a few months and it's feel a bit tired. Okay, next we are going to go on to do our Census Check-In, which is going to be our paying attention to our 5 primary senses, and we're just going to check in with them, with sight being last, so that we really wake up the other ones before we check in with that one, as we rely on that one too much. And yeah, just helps us again be grounded, again be connected, all be doing the same thing together. This is, after all, a together run. Okay, so let's take a nice deep breath, as deep as you can, and another one. Okay, what do you smell? For me, I smell wet grass, so don't be particularly careful. What do you taste? Me, I definitely taste my athletic greens. I got up, drank it down, went to the bathroom a few minutes, thankfully, before I went. But because there was such a short time between waking up and going for the run, I mean, but yeah, to the bathroom too, I drank my athletic greens and pretty much went out the door. Now, just want to add, that's not to say that athletic greens makes you go poop. It doesn't. But I'm more, I was just answering the question, but I do find it's enough calories for me to do a run, an easy run, and without anything else. And it's easy on the stomach enough to where I can just drink that and go. If you want to check out athletic greens, I know I don't have sponsors on these. I'll try and remember to put a link in the show notes so you can go check it out. athleticgreens.com/Tina. Pretty easy to remember. And that actually is in US, UK, Europe, and Canada. That code works. So, easy. Okay. Where are we? Here. All right. So what you're going to do, if it is safe for you to do so, when I tell you to, you are going to take your headphones out and you're just going to listen for what you hear in your surroundings for 30 to 45 seconds, maybe a little bit longer. Just pay attention, just be there. Really try and listen out for noises you don't normally pay attention to and see what you feel. So if it's not safe to do so, you can just listen to my surroundings. It's actually quite quiet this morning, and see what you hear. Ready? Off you go. Whoa, I let that go way too long. Sorry, friends, I got off on a complete thought tangent. I completely forgot what I was doing. Wow, I don't know how long I left you there, but apologies. I was thinking about the fact that, I was just in a different world. And then I suddenly was like, wait, my mic's in oh yeah, together. That's funny. I will ask you what you were hearing in a minute. Well, let's do that first. What did you hear? I promise I was listening at the beginning for my own sounds. But what did you hear? For me, I heard the crickets or whatever that is chirping. I heard my footsteps. I heard cars in the distance. I heard sprinklers. And I think that was about it before I got drifted off. I drifted off because I was thinking about the fact, as I record this podcast episode with my college teammate, Jackie Green, came live today. We recorded it and it was pretty insightful because I had never really considered, I'd always talked since my kind of story came out about no periods, about, women's health. I'd always mentioned about how it was rampant across the country and how I'd seen it in people, but that was mostly who I was thinking of were other women from other teams. But I hadn't ever really considered a lot of the people on the team with me at Ferris. And Jackie and I had a really deep conversation about the weight issue she had and how she was struggling with it too. And that she didn't have a period either. And all that time, I thought I was alone. So I got off on a tangent thinking about that. So if you haven't listened to that one, it's a really good one. We talk about a lot of really important things. And it's also kind of fun because, yeah, she was my college teammate and we've been friends since. So we just kind of get to hear a little bit of some insights into what I was like back then. Again, you can find that on runningforreal.com. If you sign up for the newsletter, I'll tell you about it on Monday or the day you get this or any other time. Okay, let's get back to what we were supposed to be doing. Okay, next we're going to be doing our sense of touch, which is just going to be tactile, feel, just being in your body. So I'm going to have you just take this time. I won't get distracted this time. And, I might, but not as long. Although it could have only been like 30 seconds, I don't know. But I feel like when I realised it was minutes. I'll let you know when we're done, but just be in your body, just see where your awareness jumps, and just be there. Off you go. Few more seconds. Okay, what did you feel? What parts of your internal or outer body external body were you feeling drawn to? I'd love to hear. I wish I could hear. Can't, obviously. I'll imagine your responses. For me, sweat down my face is the thing that's jumping out the most, as is a little tightness in my chest, as is my foot moving in my shoe, as is my phone in my hand, the wind on my biceps. There's the sweat on my lip. These are some things that are jumping out to me right now. Okay, and finally, we're going to go on to our sense of sight, vision, to see what we see. Now, I'm not going to guide you in what to look for. The only thing I ask is that you try and find some details somewhere. It doesn't have to be, you can let your awareness jump from place to place, but if you can at least make one of the things you look at be very precise, looking at the small details of that element. You ready? Off you go. A little bit more time. If you're distracted, come back, find a detail. Okay, what do you see? Is there anything you've never noticed before, even though you've done this run so many times? Is there anything you never would have noticed had we not called attention to it? For me, I think right now, a lot of my runs, I find myself looking around and just admiring the trees that have had so many of their big branches either cut off or have fallen off, and they're still growing. Some of them are still are so deformed and looks like they've been in a fight, and yet they're still trying to survive. They're relentless, they're persistent, they're strong. You see, that's where my eyes seem to go a lot now, is just looking at the adversity these trees have been through and how they're still just trying to do the same thing and reach for the sun, trying to survive like the rest of us. That's all we want, right? Okay, so 30-minute group already. We are coming to a walk. I don't know exactly when this time is for you because as I said, I started my run a few minutes early. We should be around now. And I'm going to give you about a minute. And for all of us, we're going to go on to do 2 strides. That's 10 to 15 seconds. I'll tell you when to start and stop of running at about 80% of your max. So your max would be a sprint. So you're going about 80%. You're not trying to take big steps. It's literally just increasing the amount of steps you're taking and just trying to wake up your legs. Now, if you're a 30-minute group, you'll be doing this from a walk. And if you're in the rest of us, we're going to continue running. And when I say to ease off, you're just going to continue running. You can slow down to a jog, whatever feels right for you. And then we'll do one more about a minute later. Just give a few more seconds. Are you ready? 3, 2, and 1. And come to a jog or a walk. Take another minute before we do the next one. I know I kind of abruptly ended my profound, deep conversation starter there. I'll give us a minute to just think about that in a minute. But I wanted to do these strides. Also want to remind you, love to see a photo of you doing this run. As always, does not matter what you look like. As they say in Bailey's been watching Tiana a lot. Don't matter what you look like, which is from what's that song called? You gotta dig a little deeper. She likes Princess and the Frog right at the moment. Anyway, doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter. I'm going to keep getting off tangent here, but the fact that I just keep singing in front of you is kind of amazing. Kind of amazing that I feel like comfortable to thousands of people to just sing when I know I can't sing. Anyway, doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter what your background is. Doesn't matter really anything. I just want to see who I'm running with. As I told you how much that helped me last week, those of you who sent support, but more importantly, those of you who have been sharing it, sending it to me for a while. I felt you with me, even though you never ended up actually being with me. It was amazing. Okay, ready for another one? 3, 2, and 1. And come to a jog or a walk, walking 30-minute group. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to see where you're doing this run from today. Let me know. Those of you, and I'll see you on Wednesday for a weekly stride episode. I started those last week. We set them up. Team worked really hard to get them ready. I'm really thankful. And they're coming out every Wednesday. For the first month, they're just going to be me answering your questions. And so last week's, that's already out, was, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received? You'll hear me answer that question. That one's 8 minutes long. I think they're all 5 to 10 most of the time. So go subscribe, go listen, and then go listen to that Friday episode with me with Jackie, if you like. Thanks so much, friends. Okay, 45-minute group. We are got to keep going, obviously. And I've done all the, I guess would be what's the news. First, I don't know why, I just feel an urge to just give my team a shout out today. I just have an amazing group of humans who support Running for Real, who are part of Running for Real, who work so hard to help to get everything out there. And I just want to give a little shout out to them because they are critical pieces of what I'm able to do. And without them, I wouldn't be able to do half of the stuff that I'm able to do. I don't honestly even know if I'd be doing this, if I'd have my business. I think I would probably have given it up to go find a full-time job. Honestly, I mean that. They do so many pieces behind the scenes. And I'm really thankful to them for that, because it's just so valued and appreciated. So to Jeremy, to Sally, to Kat, to Stacey, to Sandy, to Maria, my mind's going blank, to Victoria when she checks in. Am I missing anyone? I mean, it's a lot of people, isn't it? You didn't think that. Kelsey, oh my God. I knew I was forgetting someone important. To Kelsey, to Louise. I just knew, I was like, what part of this am I missing? I was going through the podcast production of it. Thank you to all of them. They are so valued and so appreciated. And even if I can't remember sometimes when I'm running, I do adore each of you, and I'm so thankful for you. Okay, not that they listen to this other than Jeremy, I have no idea. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our updates. So if I was going to run with you, this is the first time we'd be running together, and I said to you, tell me a bit about you. What would you tell me? If this is your 57th or anything more than one, what updates would you have for me since the last time we ran together? I'm just going to give you some time to think about that. If your mind has wandered, gently bring it back. What else would you tell me? I've got to pick up this newspaper. Papers are everywhere. I hate them. Sorry. It's those red papers I often complain about. Okay. What updates did you have for me? I wish I could hear them. You can always share them with me when you share your post. Or if you send it to me, a picture, directly, you can tell me some updates. I really do love when I hear from you, by the way. For those of you who, I've either known for years or you've checked in occasionally, I really do love when you check back in and say, hey, it's been a few years, I've been doing this and that. I really enjoy that, so feel free to check in more if you want to. I mean, it may take me a little while to reply, I'll be honest, but I really do read them. I just set aside designated times to reply to those. Okay, what would I say? Well, first, I think for me, I'm going to address the tree thing I was saying earlier. Actually, no, let's not do that. I'll give you my updates and then we'll do that. Okay, updates. I mentioned about events. So the Running for Real team, we are doing some I can't think. I was getting distracted by the fact that I missed Kelsey out earlier and I can't believe I did that, so sorry, Kelsey. We're doing some event potential planning where we are going to create these events in various cities, and the intention of these events is connection, is community. So rather than in the past when I've done live events, the focus was the live panel with whoever, And then afterwards, that person would hang around for half an hour, take pictures and with me and that person, and then they'd say bye and go. And while that felt really, good confidence-wise, it didn't sit right with me, because it didn't feel like I was getting to know you, because it felt like it was just like, I don't know, kind of like a book signing. And I don't know, I'd rather have meaningful connection and get to know something about you, like these runs, that's why I asked you for that. And so we've been thinking about these events that we will do, and we're debating back and forth whether they'd be like doing different tiers of them, like some free, some paid, because obviously when I go to these places, and there's not only a ton of them, I still am very conscious of my carbon footprint. When I go to these places, I obviously have to pay for a hotel, I have to pay for travel, and this is out of the same budget that I am using to employ those people that I mentioned to you earlier. So, I don't have, when it was just one-man band or me and Jeremy, I could go travel to somewhere because the only expenses I had were him and I. But now I want to build something greater. So anyway, so the point is, at some point there will be probably we're calling it, like, thinking of like kind of almost an immersive experience of where you get to, we basically have you for 24 hours and we take care of everything, like you are, other than you're sleeping. We'll all go to dinner together. We will all go to, you'll come to an event. We'll do some meditative-y things together. We will have like happy hours, and really making the goal be to make new friends. Now, maybe people will travel in, but primarily we think these will be just connecting the running groups together. In cities, there are often many running groups and they're not really connected. They don't really do anything together. So we would want to almost be like a middle ground for people to come together and just meet. And that would be the intention, finding new people, me getting to know you, all of us getting to know each other. So kind of like those retreats you see, but without it being like $5,000 because it's, a 3-day, everything covered intense thing. But it would be like, okay, we're all going to sit in this park, you can go grab food and meet us there. So, like, very close. So then if you are gluten-free and there's a gluten-free place nearby, then great. If you want to go where I'm going, take the stress out of figuring out where, you can do that. And having different things in different neighborhoods and traveling there together, figuring out the logistics, but doing these more like intimate events, rather than them being when you get to the 45-minute group, come to a walk, rather than it being like in New York or a Boston where it's like 600 people, which at the Tracksmith event, which I loved, by the way, not taking those away, continuing with those. What about for those of us who want to actually get to know other people, who missed people during the pandemic, who want more friendship, feel like they need that? I do. So anyway, that's some of my early thoughts with that. Based on our conversations yesterday, we also have other elements which we're tossing around the idea of, with like storytelling from local people, and how we would go about this. But yeah, it's very exciting. It's something we're working on. It's something that feels important to me, because I really, as these runs make clear, I really love getting to know the community. So it just gives me more opportunities going in these cities that aren't the massive cities to get to know people. Anyway, okay, let's do a stride. 3, 2, and 1. And come to a jog or a walk. So yeah, this looks, we're excited about it. We've got one city we think we might be testing with, and I'll let you know more as I know it. But for now, if you have any thoughts on what you've been craving, what you think would be nice. So we're thinking, you know, I guess it would be that to start with, you could attend as many or as few events as you liked. And we haven't decided yet whether we're going to primarily make these weekends that don't really have a race or make it into a race weekend experience. We haven't decided. So any thoughts you have based on what I've said, I really would love to hear. And I hope eventually we can expand these international, and those of you in other countries, we can do where you are. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe even we would pick our cities based on those of you who have been engaged a lot with us. We want to meet you, or I do at least. And so, you know, that would be, you would know the area, you could help us. So I'd love to hear any thoughts you had. Okay, what else for updates? As I told you last week, which you now won't know. Oh, we got another stride to do, haven't we? Okay, ready? 3, 2, and 1. Okay, come to a jog or a walk. 45-minute crew. Thanks so much. Take a picture if you can. Really would love to see where you're at, what you've been doing. Share it with me. Would love to see it. And I'm just going to continue what I was saying. You're welcome to listen, or if you want to head home, or whatever you were doing next, you can. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, I mentioned last week, you didn't get to hear it, that I am feeling really weird in my running because I realised the other day, rereading the last chapter of Steve Magnus's book, that I don't have a meaning, a purpose with my running right now, because I obviously have always lived with the races or the thing that I drive towards. But I think with 3 races that I've trained for, and well, let's say trained 75% for, and they're not done, I don't know if it's that it's not working anymore, or that I just need to jump randomly in a race and then get it back, or do I need to find another meaning and purpose? And I feel like I'm headed more in that direction. Like I need, like I'm headed towards finding reason in you, in this community, that be my driving force with running. But I don't know what that is yet. So I'm kind of in a weird place there. Any other updates? Oh, the mental training course we are relaunching. That's going to go back on sale for $100 off on Monday the 8th. Is it Monday the 8th? Whatever the 8th is. 8th of August. On sale for 1 week only. 1 week later, we will close the doors, so you won't be able to get it. We've done some improvements to the PDFs and the worksheets. We have updated a lot, not the videos, but everything else feel like the videos are very still relevant in every way. And we're enhancing, now I have this team behind me, this community element. We're bringing back the accountability buddies piece of it. We're going to be checking in with you a lot. Have someone on the team, Stacey, who can check in with you as much as you like, especially, and if you're someone who's already got the mental training program, this applies to you too. You can reach out to Stacey at Running for Real. She'll take care of you. She can set your emails off again, and she can check in, get you an accountability buddy, whatever you need. But this course, I'm really proud of it. It's got so much good information about how to become a good human as well as the best runner you can be. It also is going to help you with your confidence in yourself to take up that towards other things. It's going to help you with any freakouts or mental panics you have during race day, how to handle them, be prepared for them and ready for them when they come, when things go wrong, which they inevitably do. And it's also going to help you with afterwards, if things don't go wrong, resetting, how to, if things don't go right, how to reset, how to not see yourself as a failure. There's so much in there, and I'm really proud of it. It's this 12-week course. So, again, the newsletter is where you're going to find out more. Sign up at runningforreal.com. But if you didn't get it last time around and you're wondering, this is the time to go for it. We're really going to make sure that we have everything we need for you. And I'm really excited for it. So August 8th, that goes on sale, $100 off. And that's a third of the price off. So, yes. And yes, of course, it's international. Okay. So we've been working on that. On that note, I'm trying to figure out my watch here. I think I'm going to just go to whatever I am back to my house. That might be slightly under 60 for you. It might be about 60. Not really sure. I think it might be about 60 for you. But we are going to do our strides in about 3 minutes. So we'll do our second set of strides. If you haven't done this before, if you can do 60 minutes, you can do it while still part of the run with the jog in between. So, yeah, we're going to start those. Now, I mentioned I wanted to give us some time for you to look around. Maybe you don't have trees, in which case you can just look at the other elements of your run. But if you do, try to just pay attention to the trees around you, what they've been through, where they've lost parts of themselves, big parts, and they've managed to heal themselves up. They've managed to continue living as best they could, even though some of them look so worn out and exhausted. So I just want you to just look around, see the scars of these trees, and just feel some gratitude towards their strength, what they give us through oxygen and safety and just health, mental health, but also what their life could have been like, even though it's lived at a much slower pace. Distracted, gently pull yourself back. Okay, thank you for taking that time. And see if you do it a little bit in future runs. And just the stories these trees would have to tell if they could speak our language. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? The things they see. Okay, ready to do 2 strides? 3, 2, and 1. And come to a jog. Do another one in about 30 seconds. Three, 2, and 1. And come to a jog. Last little bit. Yeah, you're going to be a bit short, so feel free to continue your run or stop with me if it feels right to you. I want you to try and touch some element of nature as you are in this final bit. Touch something that's alive. Reach up and touch this tree branch. Thank you. Also going past the house they knocked down yesterday, which thankfully they left the freaking tree, although, oh my god, speaking of that, he's lost 5 limbs. God, that tree. I gotta go look at that. This big, beautiful tree has lost like a third of its big branches. Fuck. Sorry, swore again. Damn it. Poor tree. Glad they didn't knock it down, but it's going to be tough for it to come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major branches. The thickest of which is probably my arm span. Whatever. Put my hands in a hug. Oh, I'm sorry, tree. Sucks. That house needed knocking down, but still, I really hope they would be able to do it without destroying the tree. Okay, I'm over. Thank you so much for joining me, friends. Make sure you touch that element of nature. And yeah, appreciate you. Sorry, my mind is on that tree. Appreciate you. Appreciate our time. Feel free to share on the events or whatever else. And check out Weekly Strides on Wednesday. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.